Okay, listen, y'all. Don't be mad at me. I know it's been a while, but I was going through some shit. So, to start, recently started seeing a therapist back in, shit, that might have been like May, June, July, maybe. And I seen her because I talked about this. Somatic therapist specifically needed to learn how to feel my feelings, all the things in between, right? Just woke up, don't talk about anything that's ashy on me or you're just anti me. Um, and so yeah, seeing a somatic therapist, super fucking helpful, giving me a lot of tools, working through a lot of things. But I still felt like something wasn't right or something was off. Like I'm like anxiety, depression, like I get it, fluctuation up and down. But I stuck to my routines. I reached out to individuals that I knew would support me, hold space for me, encourage me. And yeah, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'm doing it right. I'm thinking, I'm feeling myself. Like, yeah, I really got this shit on lock. We finna make some breakfast because I gotta go to work, but I also need to record. So through me being in therapy consistently for about 6 months, knowing that I had support in this facet before with therapy for months at a time and would literally feel like this overall feeling of like, okay, I got my shit together, but what I was feeling with my therapist now was that I got my shit together, but something still feels empty. There's still some void, there's still something that like isn't fully in the front view of my being, of my life. And so towards the end of one session, um, my therapist and I, we're talking, and something that I love so much within our sessions is that she always asks me, what am I going to do for myself, because we have very, very intense, sometimes and emotional sessions. And so I have to make sure that I'm showing up for myself thereafter for the rest of that day in order to support myself. And so as I can tell we're getting to that part of our session. She goes, well, before we wrap up, and I'm like, okay, yeah, what am I gonna do for myself today? She goes, have you ever thought about your neurodivergence? And I said, ma'am, yes, and I don't want to. um, there were many signs that I've seen throughout my entire life that has been like, girl, that's a little, yeah, probably will be mid crying throughout this entire episode, but we honor our feelings and continue anyway when necessary. Um, and yeah, some of just I wish I could like off the top of my head like say all the symptoms, but the one that made her think that it was that one was I was just telling her I just started a new job, was able to like figure out the patterns not only of the job but then also of the people. Like I just pick up on things really, really fast. I also have a very abstract way of thinking. And then for a while, whenever I was pretty overstimulated, which also happened very consistently, a lot of stemming, listening to the same song for like 3 days in a row. Like, I mean, not like, oh yeah, listen to this song a couple hours later. No, on the way to work, in the airport at work, on the way back home from work, when I got home, the same song for 3 days. See, I always knew I had a touch of autism, right? But like having like your own understanding of what that means, but then having like a professional kind of encourage you to like go get tested for it for the second time now, it's kind of like, well, shit. But okay, right? We're still gonna hold compassion for ourselves and put you down so I can get my bacon together. But I'm like, let me hold compassion for myself. Let me be understanding of my being and what I may need ultimately, because like I want to support myself the best way possible, and I can't do that if I'm ignoring the fact that I'm autistic. If I'm on the spectrum, can't do that, right? Hold on, I'm gonna go lay down my bacon. And so while I knew that it was something that I was walking with, I figured it was like minimal. Like, I do get overstimulated easily. which then adds to my irritability. And why I typically try to spend some time really hunkering in with myself. Because being around you niggas is a lot. Like, it's not even the fact that I'm masking anything anymore. It's really just the fact of like, it doesn't even, I mean, so of course, sometimes the type of conversation will genuinely piss me off. But if I just don't feel like hearing anybody else's voice, I'm just like, damn, can you shut the fuck up? Like, and it comes sometimes out of nowhere, sometimes not. Um, but to go back to, sharing with my therapist, right before that session had started, I said, I feel like I keep like spinning in circles. Like I see something that I want, and even if it's across the room, I'll like spin around in a circle or like go like this long drastic ass way. And I'm like, Aaliyah, it's right fucking there, bro. Like, but no, I'm over here. Like, and it was getting on my nerves. And so I told her, I'm like, I'm fucking spinning around in circles just to find shit or figure shit out. Like, I don't know what that's about or where it's coming from. And she just, if you're in therapy and you ever see your therapist really listen to you and then be like, you've been clocked. You've been clocked. He has been clocked. And now we get to the end of the session and she's like, so, neurodivergence? And I'm just sitting there like, maybe that's what that missing feeling is. Maybe that's those moments and those times where I'm pushing myself because I think I'm just anxious about something and I just need to like fight through it and work through it and be fine. And it's like, no, that was your body saying it's done. That was your body saying, okay, this is enough for now. You did great. Wrap it up. Fuck what anybody else has to think about it. But I continuously will push and push and push until then the amounts of the level of burnout that I would experience, the level of burnout that I would be going through. And I mean like it's physically debilitating. Like I'm like, no, I need to lay in the bed for like 2.5 days in silence with nobody around. And I used to think me always wanting to be alone was because y'all were stupid. It's like partly, right? Like the company that I had wasn't always as focused on uplifting self, but more so sacrificing self. And I had moved from that space. I really did. I was like the people pleasing, all that. Because for me, people pleasing is like a form of manipulation. Like, am I doing this out of the goodness out of my heart, or am I doing this so that I can continue to not feel wow blah 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 blah, or am I doing this to not continuously feel fearful of someone removing me from their life because I'm not doing something? Because if I'm showing up continuously as a friend, as the best of my ability, and I'm communicating to you when I can and cannot show up because I'm doing my best and working on me too. So if that means if I miss a parties, I mean if I miss going outside, if that means that I miss something because I need to make sure I'm okay, and that's a problem, you don't give a fuck about me. You give a fuck about what I was adding to your life, okay? Because even as a friend, even if my friend came to me and said, you know what, dog, I'm really not doing my best right now and I'm not going to be able to make it to your birthday or I'm not going to be able to make it, take care of yourself. Please honor that. Take me out to dinner at another point in time, though. Like, very flexible, very understanding. And so now me learning that once I exited a lot of those people out of my life and I was able to really continue to communicate with the individuals that understood and wanted to be there for me, I was able to support myself a lot more. So now with the autism, it's really made me challenge and think about how I've thought about people with autism. I've never treated anybody badly because of those things, right? But it really was just like, how do I view them? How do I understand them to be? And now I'm like, wait, how do I understand us? It's like it's not them anymore, babes. I'm included in that. And so communication is really, really important to me because I make sure that whatever I'm feeling here is explained. So that there's little to no confusion as to who and how I am. But the one thing that will really grind my gears is whenever people start making decisions for me. That and so whenever it comes to my neurodivergence, I learned instead of me shying away from it, holding it in, not saying anything, and really just feeling like I'm just tripping, I need to go upstairs and like take a deep breath. I'm realizing no, if these are my people, I need to communicate to them what I'm feeling, and they'll either honor it or not. I was one of those people. I know they say don't separate yourself from your diagnosis. But like for me, I have to a little bit because it's helping me understand more about myself because I realized that I was a very, very judgmental person of myself. Very judgmental person. You're not enough. Why? How come other people can be like this, but you feel these things? You're weird. Like really, really negative self talk. But I thought because since I was doing all the quote unquote right things of yeah, I work out 3 times a week, I journal daily, I communicate my feelings, I advocate for myself, and it just was like, but yeah, but you're also one of your biggest bullies. You're also one of your biggest ops. Especially now whenever I started realizing that like, oh, a bitch really is touched by autism. And I didn't want to record shit. I felt embarrassed. I felt like a failure because I just was like, damn, my brain and my body requires so much support. More support than I realized that more support that I had been giving it. Right? Because it's a spectrum, right? There's high needs, there's no needs, high support, low support, verbal versus non-verbal. Like there's so much that I'm learning too, because I'm just like, well then where did bitch land on the spectrum then? And so at first I had decided that I wasn't going to go get tested because I said I do not need a doctor to tell me things that I've known of myself my whole life, right? I don't need that confirmation. But then I realized that with the diagnosis, there is a lot of support that I can receive and a lot of support that I need. Um, since even just speaking with my therapist about my neurodivergence, my panic attacks, and I learned the difference between a panic attack and an anxiety attack. And so with life just life and things don't slow down or change just because you have a new diagnosis. Sometimes I wish that I could just put my life on pause so that I can just kind of like be in my space and get in my head and really just honor myself non-judgmentally, really just hear about what my brain needs and what my body needs and really just be open and understanding of the fact that this is new for me. um what gets extremely frustrating about it is because I realized that I used to get punished whenever I was younger for things that was me stemming or things that was a part or a symptom of neurodivergence or being made fun of at school or at practice or losing friends literally at this grown age because of things that I was experiencing mentally that I wasn't able to articulate yet because I didn't take the time to take my first therapist seriously whenever she mentioned it, but now with my second therapist saying it, I'm like, well, damn, I need to sit down with myself and really be like, okay, bitch, how can we support us? How can I support you? But like I said, there was a lot of judgment for it first. A lot of like, yeah, you're not good enough. Like, but I was telling myself, well, girl, if you stepped outside and sprained your ankle, you would go and put a splint on it. If you broke a bone, you would want a cast, right? And so right now, my brain needs that extra support in order to grow and mold in a way that's going to be most beneficial for me. But man, it's hard to accept. Like I was literally my panic attack. So the difference for me and my panic attacks and anxiety attacks is my panic attacks, I'm genuinely hyperventilating and shaking, and I have to get out of wherever that environment is in order to just breathe again. And so I've been having a lot of them since that diagnosis, or since the mentioning of neurodivergence, because I was like, no, it's true. Like it's true. And whenever I see my body not even oversee, when I see my body reacting to things and me knowing that I am the person that can deliver any form of protection that my mind and my body may need, I have to start honoring that and giving my body that. Like there's times where I'm at work, even if I'm doing an event, there's too many people talking to me at once. I literally look at all of them. Be quiet. Give me one moment. And I go step to the side. I literally will go step to the side and just be like, okay, yeah, hold on. Hold on. I've done it with my family, especially my mama. I love you, mom. If she calls me and she's in a bit of a frantic or got a lot going on, I'll be like, oh, girl, you know I love you, but just hold on to that. And I need you to come to peace. Like, I need you just to take a beat for a second. Take a little beat, especially if I'm not in the space in order to receive something, right? So I tell her, like, hey, I don't really have the capacity for this right now. Can I call you back? Because I'm not trying to silence her feelings either or her emotions or what she's going through. But I also have to be mindful of the fact that I'm not cool for real right now. And I have to make sure that I continue to put the intention on holding space for myself and those emotions and those feelings and those sensations so that I can identify what's happening in my body and then also continue to work with my therapist. So, like, this work that I'm doing, it's not no lackadaisical bullshit. Like, I'm really tapping into. Oh, my damn nose is running. Oh, that was a lot. Damn. And so again, not to silence or do anybody else's feelings, but to genuinely give myself a moment to be like, hey, I'm not in a space to receive this, and I want to make sure that whenever you are sharing whatever you're sharing with me, I can be present. But right now, it's not that time. And so those are some of the ways I've learned how to advocate for myself whenever I am feeling a lot. But there's so much for me to learn. There's so much for me to learn. And one of the main things that I'm focusing on is not being mean to myself about this right now and not thinking of myself as less than or unable because of the way that my beautiful brain decides to work. If anything, I want to find more ways to support myself. I want to find the different fidget toys or because I was realized biting my nails crazily. Like it just was a sensation, a feeling. It wasn't even really the fact that I realized that I'm putting my dirty ass fingers in my mouth after I've been outside all day or outside at the time. And now I'm chewing on the shit. You know what I mean? So I'm learning, I'm unlearning, and I'm balancing a lot. I'm working 2 jobs, thinking about going back to school, thinking about switching up careers because I'm just like, why not expand my wings as much as I can? I ain't got no dependents right now. I was thinking about getting a dog though, but I don't have anybody really dependent on me. I have all the time and space in the world right now to support myself mentally, continue to build myself up mentally, and just live. In my meditation this morning, it was talking about the difference between human doings and human beings. And a lot of us just, well, no, let me say y'all, because I'm intentional these days. A lot of y'all be out here just doing shit instead of just being. So that would be the one thing I'll leave from this episode. I'm glad y'all enjoyed with me on the fly. My food almost done. Matter of fact, look like my bacon burning. Um, But yeah, one of the biggest lessons that's going on in my life right now is that I need to give myself space and grace to continue to learn and understand different parts of my ongoing diagnosis, to love myself continuously. And whenever I do have those moments where those negative thoughts are coming up, or those mean mind moments, triple M is what I've decided to call it. But whenever that comes up, I listen, because there's still that's still some voice that's speaking to me. And now I can discover if it's mine or some ignorant, mean ass motherfucker that I've had in my life before. So until next time, continue to love yourself, continue to cherish yourself, and really listen to your being. Take the time to slow the fuck down and listen to your body, so that you can identify the certain things that you genuinely need that will make your life experience a whole hell of a lot better. So don't be mean. Drink some water. Actually, drink a lot of water. Y'all need about 80 ounces of water a day, period. Especially if you're over at least 140 pounds. 80 ounces of water a day. Helps with anxiety. Get some good sleep. Find a routine to get your ass to bed. Sleep and water, game changers. Cause as soon as you start stressing, what's the first two things that go half the time? Start forgetting to drink water, and your ass stops sleeping. So make sure you do those two things. And until next week, cause I like being on my phone. See you later, insiders.